saying, okay, you're over there, okay, fine, and don't do it again. I have one at the Grand Canyon in my window there.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
I don't know about
Hear
the
about
story,
that
but
one?
I know the image you're talking about.
It's the open window, it was right down below the south rim. It's broken down now a little bit on the cliff, it's probably a good 10 feet.
Yeah.
You don't scramble very easily now.
Yeah.
But this lady, I was photographing, and this lady couldn't stand it. She's up on the rim. How'd he get down there? What's he doing down there? Let me down there. Sure enough, it was about 15 minutes. Search and rescue came, and come on up. And I was just climbing out at that time. So the guy walks me, real serious. By the time we got to the parking lot, he said, "I've got to do this. I don't. I've got to do this." That lady, we'd get in real trouble with that lady complaining, but she just couldn't stand. But anyway, that window, and I don't see any photographs of it.
No.
And it's right below. But which doesn't really matter. But it's I would do things in places that probably I shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But now I don't. I have to be real careful.
Yeah. Well,
Because
and I think the
they're watching
regulations
the
have
rim of
changed.
Haleakala, for instance, to photograph silver swords there. You just park along the rim somewhere there, and
David, on this shot, would you open up some of these shadows a little bit, do you think? Or do you like that contrast?
I like I'd open up a little bit. See the other balance log out
Yes,
there,
indeed.
the little one,
Yes.
just right under, just a little bit, right next to that pyramid
Of light?
of what you call it, not Mokopi, but the painted
It's
desert.
Yeah,
stuff.
Chinle, yeah, it's
Yeah,
mostly
Chinle,
Chinle,
yeah.
yeah.
Just a little bit right there, but right along the log, I like the contrast.
Well, I really like the contrast, and you've got, because the light is so low, it brings out the textures of everything beautifully.
Yeah, you could lighten actually back through there, an angle right through there, over to that mesa
Mhm.
out. Then your eye goes through here in a big swing,
Well-
and then it would draw you back so you don't fall out. You don't
Yeah.
fall off the end.
Right.
You have to go back, and it keeps you in the picture.
So you've created beautiful triangles here. So you use angles and triangles beautifully, obviously, and obviously very consciously. And this is almost, it's beyond textbook. It's just really beautiful because, again, you've got warm and cold too on top of
Again,
everything
yeah,
else.
that evening stuff
Yeah.
is so dynamic.
Yeah. It's
But
very-
if it's muddy,
not so much, but you've had,
Oh.
just had a beautiful storm come through, it looks like.
yeah, it was late, but I don't think it's summer. I think this is,
I think it's a
the
winter
light's
storm.
a little more edgy to the south.
Okay.
I would say it's some September, October,
Okay.
like right now,
So
or
cooler.
when, and with more storms around maybe then, or maybe not, but more in the off season, not right August, September,
Uh,
or
Well, it's-
July, August, I mean.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
not quite as overhead. So this is
Whoa.
something, we don't see Mount Bangs very often, David, but
It's
again, this is,
actually in Arizona.
it is or is not?
I think it is.
I
wanna
think it
look
is,
up.
I mean, yeah.
I want to look it up, but
I think I did, and I believe it is.
the Virgin Mountains, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing up
Well, you've got a serious images up there. Maybe you were cooling off from the summer, I'm not sure, although there's a
I don't
lot of
know.
snow here.
there. No, that's just a frosting. That's just barely, it just nipped to probably the end of the storm,
Uh-huh.
late night, and that's in the morning early.
What took you up there? Is that something, because again, I don't see people, I see,
No, that's just being crazy and park halfway up. There was a road.
yeah,
There was a road on the south side, and I parked and slept there, and then just took off and went straight up in the morning, knowing that something could be very nice. Maybe it was the storm that said, be awake in the morning, be aware. And I just went right up.
it's interesting because you've got a combination of contrasty light, but then there's those great mists. And
Still there.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah.
So
It probably melted by noon, that little bit of snow.
Mhm. So that's just a frost.
No, it's actually, I go around, I have a whole group in Big Bend where they're just ice.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bit of precipitation, it was just
Interesting.
fog.
Oh.
I think this was precipitation.
Okay.
I think it rained a little bit down below with this. Just
Yeah.
very little.
But this is beautiful. And again, this is a spot, like I say, that, you know, we just don't see from people.
To have to do that again? You'd have to spend 3 months just waiting,
Yeah,
and then you know, get yourself prepared to go up. I just, because the mountains, I think the Virgin Mountains are 7,000 to 8,000
Yeah.
feet. So they get, you know, if it's a good year, you get a storm will pass by and leave some snow on a
Yeah.
mountain range like
Sure.
this.
So when you'd spend the night, did you have a camper, or did you set
I
up
was in a
tents,
camper,
or-
yeah, I was inside.
A lot of nights out on the road overnight, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I love that, yeah, I love that. Be close to the spot you wanna be in. Just get up, pour out, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's right there, or sometimes you have to. Yeah, I shot some the other way too.
oh, did you? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the series.
Yeah,
This one, to me, I think I love the textural quality
yeah, it
in the
is.
foreground and the
then that
softness of
fog
the
gives
mist.
you an extra.
Right, and he gives that, again, it's a juxtaposition of sorts. It's, you know, it's the harsh, jagged rocks and that great soft mists.
Mhm.
It's really nice. It's great fun. Love this arch,
White Mesa.
White Mesa. But it's just the illumination on this. Am I wrong, or did you a little bit of a polarizer on there?
I think it is. Looking at the clouds, I think it is. I don't actually remember, but I believe that the sun hasn't even come up. It's the way it's lit. It's a little
Mhm.
dark on the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
there may be
sky.
some light down here, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure about up here.
I don't know what has been darkened on top, so it's a little overdone, a little too contrasty.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, your frame is incredible. You really let the arch sort of do all the talking
that
here.
one does. That one at different angles is pretty profound.
Yeah.
Really strong. Now I have to find Margaret Arch. We've seen some pictures of Margaret Arch. I have to find it on White
Oh,
Mesa,
yeah.
somewhere nearby.
But you do have a number of things going on here. Again, you've framed, actually the horizon is very low and the arch is speaking, but you've got, you know, these lichens and these textures in the
Mhm,
foreground.
mhm.
It leads you through the arch, and then you've got the great distance, but it speaks to, you know, sort of the immensity of the place as well. But
I just love it for the narrowness. Some vertical composition in horizontal country
Mhm. Yeah.
is exciting.
it's a nice way to look at it,
and
absolutely.
you push yourself up into some little niche along by it. And it's quite a, it's part of the involvement of getting with it. You get into these places. And then it's just responding to something like this, just real close.
Mhm.
Pretty impressive. And that impressed me, I remember, it's the narrowness of this angle.
But I liked hearing you say that, you know, talking about horizontal, that horizontal country, and then
Yeah,
you're finding this
Yeah,
place. That's
finding
great.
verticals.
Yeah, and I don't, yeah, it's great. And we're back to Monument Valley country, but you found a frame.
Yeah, and it isn't really a frame. It isn't one that's just, you know, right through,
Right.
you know, a juniper or something, but it's quite scrappy to show the wildness of the country, and then the mittens are well lit, so it has a spatial, it has a lasting power. It's one of those that has a lasting, you
Well, it really does. And that red of those mittens really stands out.
know. And that's what you want and expect, and it's there. And
Yeah.
then you have this, could be cropped a little bit on top, but I think this
You
gives
want a
a
little-
lot of space.
You think a little
I
bit.
don't know, but
I don't know, I like the air.
I like the space.
Yeah,
But again,
I
big
like
space
that you
country
gave it.
is important, the big sky is very important.
Oh, yeah, that's
No, I
beautiful.
hope you use that.
Late afternoon light?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that you let the
Evening.
foreground go into shadow.
Yeah,
And because
behind a
the
cloud.
black forms of those juniper branches really, you know,
You
any,
don't want to see detail
No,
of that
no.
kind of a thing.
no, that's so nice, thanks. And this,
Oh, another one of my favorite.
well,
Nobody
and this
ever
is,
uses
this
it.
is Spider Rock and Reflection.
Mhm.
It's
And,
getting involved again, getting down in the canyon, you
Yeah.
know, getting that hike, you gotta go to White House.
well, how many trips have you taken?
Oh, this is with a Jeep with a Navajo.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but how often do we see that kind of water in there? I've never seen that kind of water back there, David. I mean, that amount.
I think many of these, and if I looked up the number, it might be in the 70s. There's a lot, there were a couple years in the 70s that were really wet.
Mhm.
Lots of snow, wildflowers were unbearable.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Just solid, like a candy bar.
You want to steal that unbearable wildflower?
Yes, wildflowers were unbearable, I remember that.
But I mean, this is one of those things,
Yeah.
David, where, you were there at a time, I'm sure you worked this, but to see that reflection, the first time I saw this image, I thought, holy cow. I haven't been there nearly as many times as you have, but I've never seen that much water.
That could be a summer thing, so that they're, maybe every year should have, Canyon de Chelly should have, up on the mountains behind, should have good rain and, but again, just lucky, just responding to it. We are in a sort of a drought, so that makes this special.
It does make this special.
I like the light. I mean, that it's very late light, but it's it's angular light rather than straight side light. It's a little off to where you're almost looking against the light, almost, not quite.
It works. It completely works. And again, we're back at Wapaki and San Francisco Peaks. This looks like more winter light. Am I wrong about that? Yeah. And
look at this, way around to the south. It's almost coming out of the south.
but you've waited until your shadows have crept right beneath the ruin, so you've created sort of a nice anchor. I mean, it's just sort of holding you down because of the darkness of that form, and you're not competing with, these textures in the foreground aren't competing with the ruin itself. It's really nice.
No, it was just that first light on the ruin.
Yeah.
The rest was in shade. I wish, if you want to use that, or you wish to, if you can either crop about half the sky out, or darken it, just darken it so it gets close to the darkness of the
Oh, I see.
foreground
So
there.
like a graduated
Yeah,
neutral
it's
density,
sorta
a
just-
graduated ND up here,
Yeah.
just a slight, just
Yeah, to come down so your eye comes back down to that.
into here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
But I just love that kind. You're selecting some very nice
We had a lot
ones
to
that make me
choose
feel.
from.
What?
We had a lot to
Yeah,
choose
You've
from.
got a fair amount of work to choose from, that's true.
Jeff got it down to about 300 or 400, and we were all just blown away. And somehow Barb, the art director, has to get it down to a
Even
smaller number to
fewer.
make it fit.
But this is nice. This is Canyon de Chelly, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the window.
The window.
Yeah.
And that's what, the North Drive, if I'm not mistaken?
North Canyon, which one is it?
I think it's the north. Yeah, I think it's the north side. But
Oh, it's on the north side of that canyon.
Yes,
Yeah.
but what I like
You
about
just go. It's a perfect hike, Just let them drive you. I think even the superintendent's still the Navajo.
Yeah, I think so.
So the whole place is Navajo country. You get guides or Navajo, and it just all fits very nicely. Very nicely.
We'll talk about this, David. I mean, obviously, this takes some planning, it takes some thoughtfulness, and we've talked about you figuring out times of year and the angle of the sun and things like that, but you've got that just at the right place, your sun is, but you've got this great kick light right here.
Yeah, still, that's the wide angle thing that can happen. I have that in my Wilson Arch image too, where you get the sun on something and yet the sun, a star in it. And this one, it's almost a little too much sun, but by getting that far over, it really lit up that cliff.
Well, it did, and it creates dimension. Things like this can go flat or two-dimensional very quickly, but here it doesn't happen.